Hey, what's up, Deek? RelaxShacks.com. Just got back not all that long ago from the Tiny House Jamboree in Arlington, Texas. It was fantastic. Had a great time. I hope to be going back. One of the people we talked with down there was Richard Ward from Terraform Tiny Homes, and he will be a guest with his tiny house at our upcoming workshop, Diedricksen Brothers Style, in Joshua Tree.
My name's Richard Ward. I'm here in Terraform 3, my newest tiny home. It is a 54 square foot tiny house on wheels. Originally I had lived in a 250 square foot tiny house and decided that was way too big for me. So in March of this year I decided to sell the big tiny house and started downsizing towards a 54 square foot house. This was a roached out boat trailer when I bought it. It was a rusty old thing off Craigslist for 175 bucks, and I took it and completely stripped it down and rebuilt it. So going from the big tiny house to this has given me a lot more mobility. It's been something that I can travel with, which I didn't get in my first tiny house. And it's been a lot of fun and a lot of challenge to design a space that is 54 square feet. I had somebody describe my home as Mary Poppins' purse because interior livable space is 54 square feet, but once you open up the back wall, once you get on the rooftop deck, the skylight, it actually expands to be about 120 square feet. So over doubles in size and usable space.
What did you frame this with, I was wondering?
So this is, the framing for this house is all 16 gauge welded steel, 1x1 square tubing basically. So rather than doing a 2x4 build or even the steel 2x4s, I wanted to keep it very narrow and very tight. So with doing the 1x1 steel, I only add a couple inches versus 4 or 6 inches of the 2x4.
You also have that rigidity and strength, because you mentioned you have a roof deck in here, and I kind of didn't realize that. And the first thing I thought was, how is that going to work with 2x3 framing and thin rafters? But it's square channel steel. Gotcha.
Yes, yeah. So we've got the rooftop deck up there. And then the big skylight is super nice because I realized after I lived in my Honda Element that I converted to a micro camper, I realized I just like being outside and I don't like being indoors, and so a lot of the design of this came from basically wanting to be outside. So I've got an outdoor kitchen, an outdoor shower, a big rooftop deck. The only really stuff that's inside is a bathroom, a bed, and a little desk to work at.
And where is the toilet, Richard?
So toilet's currently right here.
Yeah.
I've got my little curtain here that kind of works as
clever
divider just in case there is somebody in here.
Yep.
It's just, it's all you need. I've got the gravity fed sink, so all that is a little water bladder pack that's, down, and then my big sink's in the back.
Okay.
Toilet, and then the outdoor shower, so.
And you're an artist as well, I want to add, and your art's fantastic. You almost have this, the way you've set this up here, the space I'm filming from with the bigger sink you mentioned, is almost like a vending counter. We were joking saying you could open a taco stand or sell slushies at the beach or...
Yeah.
But I was half joking. It has some versatile possibilities.
Oh yeah, and I think that's what's important about designing a space like this, is it can't just work for one thing. So being able to have this big open wall and stuff, my plan's to go from Texas to California, so ideally back this up to the beach and open up the back wall, and you've got the ocean as your backyard. So
gotcha.
That was kind of the thought process behind it. Again, it's just all about being comfortable and being outside. That's what's important to me.
Well, we were talking about the skylight just a second ago, but what's great about that is you're sitting here, you can sleep at night or during the day as it's raining. You are so close to the elements, yet so far away. It's got to be kind of a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
You're melding and combining, living indoors with almost the feel as if you're living outdoors.
Yeah, so it kind of, it has like a glamping kind of feel to it. So the big skylight's all framed out, and so it's, you're looking up at the night sky, just laying in bed, and it's undescribable.
Yeah.
And when it's raining and stuff like that, you just have the rain on there, and it's just this perfect little picturesque sort of thing. It's a ever-changing artwork.
Oh, I like the way you put that. Yeah, and just the sound of the pattering of the rain as well. Hey, I like your countertops over there with the wine corks.
Yeah, so this is all wine corks. It was a little bit of a long weekend to get all of them, but my friend made it work.
Yeah.
And it's a wine corks that's basically put a mastic down, glued them down, and then put an epoxy on top of that. I've also got my flooring in here is actually vintage drawing books from like the 1940s. So I especially with being able to design your own house, I like the weirdness that you can put into it and making stuff that's I'm not worried about resale value. I'm doing stuff that makes me happy, and so there's no rule book, and that's what I love about building and designing tiny houses. Is it's like you do whatever you want. So.
Yeah. Freedom in form, freedom in artistic expression, which is kind of what you do and now live in.
Yes.
Any regrets, Richard, on this, or anything you would change now that you've been living in it for a little bit?
So the only thing that I would change about this was my calculations on the width. So I'm 6'2", and I measured this to be a little over 6'2", but I didn't take into account interior paneling. So I'm about 6'1", but besides that, I love every bit of this house. Like I said, I went from a 250 square foot house that I built to a 32 square foot Honda Element to this, and this feels like the good balance between the two. So it's been great.